Hey guys, we just finished riding over 200 kilometers here in the beautiful Lanzarote with the MT09, and I have so much to say because if I had to sum up this bike in one word, that would be adrenaline. Adrenaline, because the power of this engine, we have 119 horsepower. This didn't vary from the previous model, but what varied is that the intake is different, even the sound of the bike is different, and the handling also has varied because now the triangle of seat, handlebar and foot pegs has changed, and now the rider is more prone to ride it with its weight on the front. With the rider weight more based on the front, this is really beneficial when you're entering turns, as you have more control and you can manage to handle the bike way better, in my opinion. At the same time, with the handlebar lower on long rides, it can be a bit tiring if you're tall like me. I'm 183 centimeters. The seat height is 825 millimeters. So this is a bike that's accessible, to riders of very different height. But man, the bike, I really enjoyed it today because I felt like I was riding an airplane. The acceleration on this bike is insane. In fact, I must say something, that this is not a bike for newbies. If you're like 25 years old and you want to get your first bike, I don't recommend this bike, because the problem is it's so easy to ride and so easy to handle that my doubt is that you might feel confident too soon on this bike and then take some risks. So I recommend it to more experienced riders because the power is insane and so much fun to ride. The MT09 really gives you adrenaline and it goes to your heart. Also, with these new vents that almost look like some audio speakers, these are to enhance the sound of the engine. So when you really rev it up the bike, you feel it and it just makes you vibrate inside. So really nice. Well, other than the sound, I rode with the 3 different maps, so with the rain, the street and the sport. I personally preferred the street because it has really nice torque, but manageable. Whereas the sport, the bike becomes super aggressive, super reactive, like really nervous. Nice if you're on a circuit and you can really push. On the street with other cars, I felt more confident with the street. And I actually enjoyed the rain, even though we didn't have any rain. But the thing is, with the rain map, I felt the riding was more comfortable. So if I wanted to cruise around, the acceleration is less sharp compared to the street, where even with the clutch, it's just so easy. You feel the bike just jumping out everywhere. Even though exiting turns with the various assistance controls that you have on the various maps, I never lost, the rear end. The bike was very precise on this aspect, so the grip we had was always perfect. Even the ABS wasn't never too invasive, so you could really push on the brakes and never, have any annoying feeling when entering turns. Design-wise, I think they did a really incredible job because they managed to give it a really unique character with this front end. I'm actually thinking, what if I developed a front end with this sort of shape for the Tenere? That would be curious. Then with the whole bike, they managed to make sharper lines. You see a lot here in the front tank, but also the tank here in this section is wider, but here is slimmer. Same with the seat. So you have, when you're riding, you have more control, in my opinion. I felt really good with my legs and I had perfect control on it. But also, if you see here, you can move up and down on the bike without ever having, like your pants getting stuck anywhere. So the new design makes you move around the bike, in my opinion, very well. And this makes it very comfortable, like the seat, because the seat is narrow, but here is very wide. So even for me that I have big ass, my ass cheeks would fit completely on the seat, and this would make it very comfortable, because on other seats where you have part of your ass standing out, it can be uncomfortable on the long rides. Now we have the new seat. It's a two-piece seat, so you cannot move as far back as before, but this doesn't create any issue because when you're riding this type of naked bike, more or less you're always using this part of the seat and never moving all the way back. Basically, if I had to sum up the new MT09, it's like having a super sports bike engine, but with the agility of a naked bike and just the character of a very unique Japanese engineering. There aren't many things I didn't like on this bike. I really enjoyed it and I wish I could have one, but there's some limitation, and in my opinion, the steering angle is a bit limiting if you plan on using this bike in an urban environment. So in a city with small roads, if you have to, change, you have a limited steering angle, so keep that in mind. The other thing that's not really a big issue, but also you have to keep in mind is that the GPS navigator, super useful. Love the fact I don't have to stick anything on my handlebar to put my phone and so on, but it's very low. This means that you have to really look down, and that means you can't do it when you're at fast speeds. You can do it only when you slow down. But as I mentioned, very, very useful because you always know where to go and don't have to use your phone or clamps that then can be stolen and so on. So big thumbs up to the integration that I hope to see also on other bikes. I wish I had this feature on the Tenere display because it's really, really useful. And if you want, you can have all your notifications on the display, the turn-by-turn navigation, and the display has 4 different themes. To access and interact with the display, we have a joystick here on the left-hand side of the handlebar. You have 5 movements, up, down, left and right, and then the OK. But then also you have another button that is the return home. Then here you see the cruise control. I used the cruise control today on some roads that were straight for many kilometers. You press this and then you set with up and down the speed you want. Then you have the turn indicators. Turn indicators that have a cool feature where you press it once, so a short press, and this will activate the turn indicator for, I don't remember it, like 150 meters, and then it automatically turns off. That is a feature I need because I always forget my turn indicators on, and then I have cars beeping at me. I think this is a small feature, but that I was able to appreciate. On the design, not much to say. I think they really nailed it because with this new front end, it gives it a very unique look. I believe that for some of you, it will take some time to start liking it. I liked it immediately because I always love when manufacturers try to make something different and unique, and not copy other bike models. So I feel this is a fresh new look for the MT09. Even on my rally builds, I love sharp edges, and in this case, even here on the tank. But I just want to show you how incredible, detailed and studied this design is. And you can see it from the tank and the front headlight. You see this line matches this other line going on the front. I know this may be a very, subtle detail, but it's what me as a motorbike builder, I really appreciate, and I look for this stuff because it just makes you understand the approach the Japanese engineers had in developing this bike. Remember, this is a bike that's now at its 4th generation. It was introduced in 2013 and it sold only in Europe over 100,000 units. So a bike that really went into the hearts of the riders and that has been showed love everywhere in the world. In fact, around the world in total, over 200,000 of these were produced. Performance, character and ease of use. These are the characteristics of the new MT09 2024 model. Now, let me know what's your opinion. Do you like the new design? Do you already own an MT09 and thinking about upgrading? But also, let me know if you want to see me test more naked and road bikes, because you know I'm usually on the off-road side. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!